For Tonight We Might Die, the first episode of Series 1, is written by Patrick Ness and starring Greg Austin, Fady El Said, Sophie Hopkins, Vivian Oparah, Catherine Kelly, and Peter Capaldi, another spin-off. So the show focuses on the Coal Hill School that appeared in the Doctor Who since the very first episode, An Unearthly Child. Then it next appeared in Remembrance of the Daleks, Day of the Doctor, and then Series 8. So the main characters are 4 of the 6th form students and a teacher, which we'll get to. So on the 1st of October 2015, the programme got announced, created by Patrick Ness, with Stephen Moffat producing it. They also revealed that Coal Hill was now an academy on the 27th of April 2016. The concept came from Doctor Who itself, and Patrick Ness requested to write an episode treatment for Doctor Who that ended up creating a spin-off series. So he took the inspiration from his past young adult fiction book, The Rest of Us Just Live Here, especially creatures called The Chosen Ones. The show's target audience are for 15 and over, like Torchwood, except Brian Minchin, the executive producer, said he would try not to be as dark as Torchwood. The style of the show took the inspiration from the shows like The Vampire Diaries and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which ironically gets mentioned in this episode. So the show begins with a student called Kevin Williams running away from something. We get a brilliant jump scares as he hides and gets rescued by Miss Quill. We hear him scream, but apparently it was Miss Quill tricked him into disintegrating himself with her displacement gun. I love the design, the intro, and using Alex Clare's Up All Night song. What have I been waiting for? Been wasting all my time. It's a perfect fitting. So during the day, there's students going to school saying stuff in Quill's classroom. April was asking Charlie out for the prom, but he declined. When I first saw that, I was surprised. I thought, oh, she seems nice, how could he turn down that offer? And I think they would make a really great couple. They would fit in well together. But of course it turns out that he's gay, which makes sense, and of course there's nothing wrong with that at all. So the main characters watch the shadows move in. As Tanya is outrunning the shadow, she ran into the shop, and the scene where the old lady said she caught her husband playing with himself is pretty funny. I think that was where I kind of realised that the spin-off wasn't for kids. I watched it on iPlayer when I was at school during my free time. Ironically, the show came out during the time when I was in 6th form. But anyway, then I thought the old lady meant something else, until when Tanya talks to Ramsey on the laptop, she gets attacked by shadows, and the moment where she said shit, that's when I realised it's not for kids. While April does decorating for the prom, she gets attacked but got saved by Miss Quill. However, she almost shot her gun, almost got herself disintegrated, but luckily Charlie ran in and stopped her from killing herself in time. The shadow disappeared, and we get a funny moment where Tanya's mum walked in and she's like, "You're talking to a boy." So we learn about Charlie and Miss Quill, how Charlie is weird and doesn't understand pop culture. He's played by Greg Austin, which I think he did a great job. Charlie Smith was the Prince of Rhodia, he's a Rhodian. Catherine Kelly is great as Andrea Quill, aka Andra Ath, who's a Quill. She serves Charlie and became a teacher in Coal Hill Academy. Quill and Charlie are the last of their kind because there was a war between their races and Shadow King. They both got rescued by the Doctor. Sophie Hopkins played April McLean, a student who shares the same heart as Cora Kynus, so they can see each other's thoughts. When she's a child, her dad crashed the car with her and her mum inside. Her mum got paralysed, which we'll get to in episode 4. And I think April's very likeable. I really love the character. I will talk about the parents of the main characters where the episodes will focus on them, as I thought it would make sense. So we have Fady El Said, who played Ramsey, a student who's a star football player for the school. And I really love that character, there's great development. He has a girlfriend called Rachel Chapman, played by Anna Schaffer, who I've known her as Romilda Vane in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which is cool. Vivian Oparah played Tanya Adiola, who's a student who got moved up 3 years at Coal Hill School because of her outstanding examination results and truly extraordinary academic capability, and also gets treated like a child by her mum. I really like that character as well. Jordan Renzo played Matej Andrzejewski, Charlie's boyfriend, and there's great chemistry with him and Charlie. They're all great main characters. As everyone gets ready to go to the prom, April thought she looked ridiculous and nice isn't cool, So her mum, Jackie, no, not Jackie Tyler, a different Jackie, telling her that she looks great and April's kind, which is better than nice. Sorry, I'm just having fun. The bit where a student throwing up is pretty gross, and poor girl that she got dumped. So after a nice night at the prom for a few minutes, as Tanya managed to get in without her mum knowing, well, sort of, April reads Cora Kindness' thoughts, him and his army arrives. The bit where Ram's girlfriend, Rachel, gets killed, I was like, holy shit! Yeah, I got a shock as I wasn't expecting it. She got impaled and there's blood splattered on Ram, so he was raging and fighting Cora Kindness. But he gets his leg chopped off, which I sort of had to look away from that scene, as it's kinda gory. The bit where April goes on the microphone shouting stuff at everyone was pretty funny. As everyone except main characters evacuated, they get confronted by Cora Kindness. Miss Quill saying we have to die well, but we get an epic moment where the Doctor arrives through the curtains.
This is a bit of a mess, isn't it? I used to be the caretaker here, you know, before it got all fancy.
Awesome. I think it's great to bring back Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. It really shows us that it's set in the Whoniverse. They also brought back Nigel Betts as Mr. Armitage, the head teacher, who appeared in Series 8, which is awesome. Cora Kindness, the Shadow King of the Shadow King, who's in charge of the War of the Underneath. And I think he's badass, and Paul Mark Davis really nailed it. Shadow Kings are a race who can only survive in the dark, and I thought they're pretty cool. And I also like the idea of Coal Hill space-time rift that was created due to the high levels of art and energy. As Tanya and the Doctor lighted the room, Cora Kindness ran away, but he was about to take April away, but Ram managed to hit him with a chair and got pushed back into the tear, and he unsurprisingly passed out because of the blood loss. So the Doctor gave him an alien prosthetic leg, where he can sort of still play football. And I like the Doctor's speech to the main characters. Miss Quill wonders what happens to her, but she and Charlie have to stay because they're not safer on elsewhere, and she committed a crime. She got Kevin Williams killed. I also love the bit where the Doctor looks at the honours board with the names on there as Clara Oswald and Danny Pink. He convinces everyone they can do it, as he couldn't permanently close the tear. And we gotta love the Doctor's face with the Vampire Diaries and Buffy the Vampire Slayer reference. And also the IKEA joke, you know, with the cabinet. The Doctor disappeared away in the TARDIS, everyone goes home. Charlie promised April that he'll get her heart back. This episode ends with Charlie opening the cabinet of souls, and inside are millions of Rhodian souls. And I think this is a fantastic start of the Class series. The music by Blair Mowat is fantastic, especially the variation of the theme of the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, and the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, aka A Good Man. What did you think of For Tonight We Might Die? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.